So manifested water, unmanifested water. So like that, kala, time is also manifested at the same time unmanifested. Rahul, what is time now?
7:12.
What was before?
7:11.
What will be in the future?
7:13.
Whatever. So now, when you're not looking, what's happening in time?
It's still going.
But when you wanted to know, then you see.
Yeah.
So that means it manifested for you when you wanted.
Yeah.
That is the point I was trying to make.
Or the future also stands for
You
unmanifested.
can go in the future if you can tap energy. You can go in the future also and the past also. There is the three aspects. So three stages: past, present, and future. But right now I can only be now. I cannot be in the future. Done is done. Gatam gataha. So right now, that's a I'll be jumping one place to another. So three stages, which is past, present, and future. Right now I can be present. What present now will become in future. It was a past. So then karma connected with that three aspects: behind, with, ahead. Why? And the soul working with these stages. In the sense, I can go with the time. That means I'm riding with the time. I will let the time pass. I want to pass the time, kill the time. So what happens? I'll be left behind the time. So we can become lethargic, lazy. Yeah, I know, I'll do it. Then the time comes, I'll do it. I know the time. Sunday we start at 11. I know I'll be there by 11:15. No, it starts at 11. So to be at Sunday feast at 11, what time I should be at leaving my home? So like that, people, I'm just talking about, so how do you calculate? So people laid back. So that's an aspect of the time, one of these. So now, ahead of the game, I want to be there before. I want to compete with the time. I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to get there, I want to show the world how great I am. So in this process, what happens? We'll become too passionate. There's nothing wrong in it. At the same time, does anybody can compete with the time? Because time is impersonal feature of Krishna and potency of the Krishna, other form of Krishna. If you remember these three, then add that here. So what happens? We will be miserable. VP goes up. At the end, we are miserable. We make other people's lives miserable. Intelligent people, what they do? Third aspect, which is they ride with the time.
So Prabhupada on many occasions said, time is all that lies between us. So even when the Jibu temple, I'm reading the Jibu book now, the Jibu temple that it was a fishing slum, and everyone said, why you are dividing a temple in this place? Prabhupada knew that one day this area will be like nothing, and he had a vision. So in many ways we say Prabhupada was ahead of his time. Meaning the people who were with him couldn't appreciate, but Prabhupada knew it would happen. And when people were discouraged, oh, nothing is happening, he would always say, it's only time that separates us. So ahead may not necessarily mean a negative connotation.
So ahead is the aspect. The future, what he sees, that is the stage. So he is in that stage, he could perceive. But right now I'm not there yet, I'm present, but I'm ahead. Combination of this will not work well. So your present and the future is a stage, and the aspects is with, riding with, ahead, it changes. So he also said, the temple is there, the devotees are there, you cannot see. Because why? Unmanifest. Because he has a potency of Krishna's manifested again already. He can see. I cannot see. So that is the reason I put three stages, three aspects, 6 ways. We take birth, we grow, produce byproducts, offspring, we get disease, dwindle, get old, and then all those things will diminish, eventually die. So this is the 6 ways, and where you are depends on this, and then tap these two combinations. But if based on this, if Krishna's potency is there, that means when you're riding with Krishna, you can see with the time. So that's mode of goodness again. So why? Where is the mode? What I put it here? Yes. Time controls everything. Krishna controls time.
Time I am.
Aham kalosmi. I am the time. Because when we are with Krishna, the present. So he controls, I'm riding with the time. Isn't it an amazing concept? So the timing, even Sachin Tendulkar is so famous, Rahul Dravid is famous, hitting the sixes because why? How much fast it comes, you time it. Like you exactly know when to invest. Corporate world people like they put the time. Okay, this time is bad. Now it is not my time. It's not my cup of tea. What does it mean? We all know in the back of the mind, but based in the karma, and then we also make that calculated decision or right decision in the right time, right thing, right time, right place, right results. Right thing, wrong place, wrong way, wrong results. So that's where, how do we know? We learn sometimes by mistakes, sometimes by our intuition, sometimes based on Sukruti, sometimes directed by within Krishna, Brahma. How do we know? This is a journey. But time will not wait for anyone. It never stops. That continues. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, again Saturday, day and night, winter, fall, spring, summer, continues. Kaliyuga, Satyuga, Tretayuga, Dwapara. But if you want to get out of the cycle, there is also a way. So what? Absorption in Krishna conscious activities, time will not act on us. I give an example last week. So, and even before even coming to ISKCON, when I was in engineering college, first year and third year exams, morning, 9 to 12. Second year and final year is afternoon, 2 to 4. Yeah, 2 to 4 or 1 to 3. 3 hours, 1 to 4. So, I have a nature, before exam, I do not eat anything. Just keep me like active. Revise what I studied and all those things. So I'll skip the breakfast. But I cannot skip breakfast, lunch and dinner unless I'm wanting to fast, achieve my mind. But that particular day, my objective is not Krishna, but to get a good grade. So even the self-motive, when I'm absorbed, then I will not feel hungry. So when it comes to second year and final years, exam in the afternoon. Skip breakfast, skip lunch also. As soon as exam is over, you come out and you feel hungry. What happened before? Because when you observe same thing, when you're dressing, when you are chant attentively, the time ceases. When you read attentively, time ceases. This object is Krishna. When we dress, Radha Naktabar, Jagannath Balsu, the government there, there's nobody else. You're single focused. Object is Krishna. Removing, putting down, baking in, putting dresses, decorating, all those things. So when you focus, the time ceases out. So the same thing, spiritual world, there is no time means the time, as Rahul, what is the time? Before that time was there, but we don't need it. The same thing in spiritual world, it absence in that perspective. Here we need time, everything starts. Naveen Krishna born 1970 May 31st. So my time started. Otherwise, when it ends, we don't know. So when we need it, when we want it, when we have a purpose, we access the time in the material world. The time goes on. A time for an ant is different. A time for a lizard is different. A time for elephant is different. A time for, when I say restaurant, dog is. So some take birth in the same day, they grow, they do all the 6 ways, and they leave, and they go on the next, which is in the form of a transmigration. So for human beings it's different. At the same time, even human being on this planet is different. If you go human beings, in Swargaloka is different, Janaloka is different, Brahmaloka is different. We'll talk about the lifespan of Brahma. How does it work? How? We don't know. The same time, when same energy of Krishna, which is electricity, passed through the filament between close, passed through the refrigerator, it becomes cold. Passed through the heater, it goes, it becomes hot, warm. The energy is same. How it changes in different stages, different aspects, different ways. Nobody cannot fathom that. Nobody cannot fathom. It's very. That's the reason it's a potential of Krishna, other form of Krishna. It is there. When I want water, I go to the tap. But when I develop the Krishna consciousness, the supernatural powers, Anima Siddhi, Prapta Siddhi, Lagna Siddhi, Vakamya Siddhi. So it is today, now it's a fall here, for example. but I have a desire to eat mango. Where is the mango? In summer in India. Sit here, extend my mystic power, extend my hand, right there, sitting here, to the market in India, get that mango and bring it here. Then I can see, trap the city. That's a different time zone. I'm a different time zone. I can travel in the past, present, and future. A different species, a different universes. Forget about even in India, the same planet, different planet systems. How this works, nobody can fathom. Inconceivable. That's energy of Krishna.
Our perception of time also varies
Yes.
depending on how much we are absorbed in Krishna consciousness. When we work out in the gym, like that, the second minute, that rep, you're like, what? I thought so many minutes have gone, but only 30 more seconds. You felt that?
Yeah.
But sometimes when you're cooking, you go for many minutes, right? So what was different about those two? Same amount of time, but how we perceived it, it depends on what we are doing.
Objective, that's where. Objective. What are you trying to
Absorption
do?
also.
So you're doing cooking for your husband or wife or kid. You're cooking for Krishna. You're cooking for yourself. So when you're relaxing, how the perceived in different dimensions. Time has many dimensions. Right now we're sitting here. Who knows Krishna is sitting there, Indra is sitting there, Shiva is sitting there, Narada is sitting there watching. Prabhupada had the vision. I cannot. Because when you develop that eyes, prema chakshusha, gnana chakshusha, sastra chakshusha, we can see that. When Arjuna wanted to see this universe, what did Krishna give? He gave Divya Gnan. He's same person, he's sitting there, you're able to watch everything. So, having said that, we talked about the principles, concepts now. Now, to understand this, I will illustrate a story. Yeah.
Who you're saying right the same, and what do you mean when you say right the same?
Yeah, I'll tell you. So, this is very simple. Big waves comes in the ocean. The surfers, they wait for the big waves. Big wave comes. Either you start exactly the time, and before you fall down, after a wave will kick you. But if you ride with exactly when it starts, then you are on the wave. Waves, however long it runs, it just goes on the way. And that means you don't have to put energy. You don't have to do anything. Just show up and be there. They'll take you to your destination. So same thing here in Krishna consciousness or in the material life or academic life, whatever it may be, you're looking for that. You can feel it, intuition. Is the right time. The market, people are like, those investing, they know the time. Timing the market. Like, for example, some people during the, I'm a morning person. Like, if I study in morning for 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, get up, whatever I get it, directly gets it. I'm also a night person, I have a dual nature. So I can study night 1, 2, 3, 4 also. I can tap the same energy and sleep. So like, if you want, I can eat like anything. If you want, I can fast. So like that, these things materially can also develop through yogic process. So riding a wave and riding the time is pretty much the same concepts. Knowing the time and be there, and then without your much putting much effort, and it will carry. Even other time, you put a lot of energy. It's not the time. It's not the right time. Like I'm trying to put grow a plant in the winter. Wrong time. No matter how much you put it, that's not meant for that. Then summer, you don't have to just throw it. It will automatically grow. There are many examples you can write. So one day, I said the story in the past. I'll tell you one more time. Narada Muni and Krishna walking in a different planetary system. Not in this earth, and some other, like eventually Bhupur somewhere. This is not mentioned. I read this story before I come to this in one of the book in India. It's called a Chandamama story. Valimika stories, like those stories. I don't know if it happened or not, but analogy you can learn it. So they were walking, they came to a big forest, so beautiful mountains, like birds are chirping here and there, so very nice. Narada feeling, entire universe looking for Krishna. He's right next to me and there is nobody else. He felt a little proud. Natural, it's natural. But Krishna wanted to show him, be proud. Okay. So they went there, one place. Krishna said, Narada, I'm feeling tired. I want to sit there and relax. So then he sat in the tree under the and then Narada also sat up. They both. And then after 15 seconds, this so nice breeze is coming. And then Krishna said, Narada, I feel thirsty. Can you go get some water nearby? Okay, Krishna, don't worry, I'll get it. Just relax, I'll get it. He started running here and there, and we came to a nearby place, and he saw a well. And as he come close, he saw a beautiful girl fetching water. And he saw the girl, he mesmerized. She's so beautiful, like looking like a damsel coming from the heavenly planet. Young girl, and then she also looked at him, and he got attracted. And then she didn't say anything, and then after that he wants water, and then she gave it. And then she was looking at her, she was drinking. And the girl was looking, what is this guy? As if he never looked at any girl. And then he totally forgot who is he. He totally forgot Krishna. And then she took the water and she walked to her village. He also followed her. She's walking, he's walking. And actually she's looking behind, strange. And she didn't say anything, looks like very beautiful, effulgent, like he's also like well built. And then naturally he's attractive. And finally, when she went to her home, he also followed. And then she told her parents, somebody's behind me. And they go, what happened? And he says, I don't know, I saw her, I fell in love. Who are you? I'm so and so. I'm an orphan, I have nobody. I just came. Then they also looked at him, so beautiful, young, energetic, like effulgent face. And okay. I called function, called entire village, they came, married. Due course of time, weeks passed, months passed, they were living together happily. Got one child, two child, three child, and they're growing up. And then now he became famous, popular. He became head of the village, and a lot of meetings, and so many things. 10 years passed, 20 years passed, and his children getting married. And then those days they're not getting both that frequency, and then they were there sometimes. And eventually 20 years passed, 40 years passed, 60 years passed. Children grown up, entire empire has become big, village, name, fame, power, enjoying. And then everything is nice. It's almost 70, 80 years passed. In-laws getting old. Suddenly one day, big rain started coming. Cloud formed, black, dark. Started pouring. When it started pouring, and then wind came. It's cold, dark, and then the nearby village reservoir broke. It is connected to river, flooded. Entire village swept away. He's shouting, my child, daddy help me, father help me, mother-in-law helps you, oh son-in-law help me, son, like cows, like shouting in agony. Things are falling off, and you don't know what. He's holding the daughter, and the son falls, and the big wave kick him, and he goes behind the son. He's trying to help him, and then in between cow, so you don't know what to do. He's trying everything, he cannot control. The waves are too fast, too cold, dark, and the wind is so powerful. The father, Krishna! Krishna! Help me. He's shouting, Krishna help me, Krishna help me, Krishna shouting. My mother-in-law, oh my God, what to do? She's so gentle, my son, my daughter, grandson, cow. Krishna, I love cow, what happened? He's just talking. Suddenly it's a cat. Narada. Open, what happened? Krishna, you're here. Save me, what happened? He opened his son. Sitting right near Krishna. Same tree. Under the tree. He looked at where is water? Where is the flood? What are you talking about? Did you went to sleep? Then he shook her. My God, Krishna fell on the feet. He just showed in a fraction of a second 80 years of his life.
Is it a dream?
It was a dream, but it's real. He went through experience, emotions. Everything happened in a different dimension, which in 80 years, all the people, experiences, children, going through that, growing crops, growing old, growing children, their children, everything happened in a fraction of a minute. Anybody can fathom this? Krishna smiled at him. That is inconceivable, one of that energy. Krishna smiled, then he understood. Now I know Krishna. We know you're great, but we don't know how great you are. You're so powerful, I don't know how powerful you are. What you can do, nobody can even fathom. Inconceivable. That is one of the energy. Aham kalosmi. The same energy for the ant is different. Brahma is different. Me and you is different. A materialistic person is different. Paramahamsa is different. Devotee, practicing devotee is different. Animal is different. Bhuloka is different. Atala, Talatala, Mahatala, Rasatala, Patala is different. Brahmaloka is different. This is one universe. A different universe is different. All of them is one breath of Krishna in form of Vishnu. How do you understand? The first understanding that I cannot understand. I cannot understand. Today I was walking in the woods, morning walk, I went to the park. I was appreciating the nature. It's so beautiful. Birds are there, animals are there, small insects are there, flies are there. So everybody there on the life, thinking, I am the controller, I am the enjoyer, I am the proprietor. He's thinking, this tree is my life, my house. Some insect is thinking that's my hole is my life. I'm thinking this is mine. Everybody is thinking. Maya works so powerfully, so perfect. Janasya mohoim aham mameti, I me mine. But look, time is not waiting for everybody. It is going. Life after life. Bahunam janmanamante gnanavam mam prapadante vasudeva sarva samatma sudurlabha. We hear it, at the same time we don't get it. We're practicing too far away to reality. We know it, at the same time ignorant.
Rajabhakti Mataji one time told a story. This was, in the Mumbai Chowpatty preachers, they go on the train and they preach. And one person, they are talking about this, and one person said, this is my life, you tell me where I have the time to chant. You remember, you told us story. So, and the devotee gave a bead to him, and he went, and then the devotee started chanting 1 round. Soon he chanted 16 rounds, and then he went to the temple to find that brahmachari. I'm still waking up same time, I'm still catching my train same time, going to work. But where did those 2 hours come? Before I thought I didn't have time. So, and the devotee said, Krishna expands.
Time expands. Same thing here. So, that's an amazing concept of. And then now, when the material world created, how does time created first? So, as I said, sun takes the water and creates a cloud. But that same cloud covers the sun. Is it really covering? No, it's covering our view. That is his own energy. His own energies appear to be covering him, but not covering him. But he's always there. There is no day and night for him. He's always light. But for me, it is covering my eyes. Same thing here. When the spirit soul decided to compete with Krishna in trying to become a god, and then this material place is created to try that option. So for that, there need a place, right? So same thing when the spiritual world, which is self-effulgent, which is like a sun, creates a cloud coming from his own energy. The same cloud covers the spiritual world. Then it forms darkest region. That is called material world. And that material world has unmanifested energy of Krishna, is called Pradhana. Shell. This is the egg, it's unmanifested. So now, then he becomes Balaram, Arjuna, Vasudeva, San Krishna, Karnadikshaya, Mahavishnu, Garbhodak Mahavishnu, Kshirodak Mahavishnu, all this stuff. So when Vishnu first he comes, he glances at Pradhana, which is unmanifested material nature, it get agitates. When it glance, that is where the first material ingredient, impersonal form of Krishna, Kala. That agitates. That's called Kala, time. The form of Krishna's glance. This time enters into the Pradhana and agitates. Like if you put a seed in the under the earth and cover it with dirt and put the water, what happens? It's called the plant comes. Same thing here. That's called the first creation stage. So, but creation. So also have creation, maintenance, and annihilation. 3 phases. It's cyclic. So that the time, Pradhana, which is actually inert, made out of ignorance, false ego. From there, the 3 modes of material nature forms. And the time again, it churns it. Then it takes into different forms seeing power, touching power, smelling power, earth, water, fire, ether, subtle form, gross form, all 24 elements forms. One has a previous one, and the next one has 10,000 times bigger than before, and the next is 100,000 times bigger than that. So all those forms. So all these ingredients, what is the ingredient which is churning all these things? Time.
It's in the second canto, right? Even there's the order, the sight and this.
Yeah. So first the subtle things, subtlest of subtle, and then the first is a sound. First creation starts with a sound. The sound has no form. Hearing. So that way hearing power develops. So from there, the mist comes, then the form comes, which is whatever you put, A. A doesn't have a form, but you can feel it, touching power. So the combination of that and this, and then the fire comes, which has a form. Which has a form, smell, taste, like water, all those things, the previous combination, it develops the next one. And eventually, earth. Yeah, water, earth, which has all of them, the grossest of the grossest. The same mind power, intelligence, soul is there, super soul is there, time is there, all the 24 elements. Right? That's how the form. But all of that, what is the ingredients which is churning all of them? So that's how the time works. So now, Krishna explained, Sukadeva Goswami explained, Parikshit Maharaj, how does the time calculate? So little technical, couple of minutes. So first, the time is the smallest of particle is called atom, which is the small universe by itself. All the universes, all the 24 elements, it is also then the atom as well, and unmanifested state. There is the universe outside, there is the universe within me. All these universes is within Krishna, and within universe Krishna is there. You understand? When Yashoda, you wanted to see Krishna, there's a little more. She saw entire cosmic manifestation. She saw herself also seeing Krishna within the mouth of Krishna who is outside. You can understand this. So like that. So this the smallest of small is called atom, is called ultimate particle. Bhagavatam explains. It's the ultimate state of the manifest universe. It's invisible and visible. Visible for those who has eyes to see. For most of the people, invisible. That's a atom, it's ultimate particle. So this time can be measured by the movement of atomic combination. For us, there is no time. For example, Rahul, there is no time. If I ask you, there is no time. There is no watch. There is no phone. Where do you see the time? Yes. The next closest is for us is the sun. Right? So same thing, atomic particle is measured according to covering a particle amount atomic space by the sun movement. Atomic time, so I introduced a few terms. First, atom, ultimate particle, and time can be measured by the movement of atomic combination. Right? And then atomic time is measured according to a particular atomic space by sun movement. Okay? Now that leads to great time. Great time, the time that covers the unmanifest aggregate of atoms. Great time, the time that covers the unmanifest aggregate of atoms, not one aggregate of atoms. That's called great time. But how, for me, my time started May 31st. Like, my great time, it's moving. So when it ends, that's my great time, start to end. But right now it's manifesting. But what is past is done is unmanifest. Future unmanifest. As I'm moving, it is manifesting. The combination of manifest, unmanifest, visible and invisible, and I experience, I'm going through that. You're all with me? It's a little technical, I know. But if you understand, you cannot understand, but try to understand. So in that case now, two atoms together is called double atoms. It's exactly from Bhagavatam. Three double atoms become one hexa atom. It's also called Trasarenu.
Anu is one atom and the other.
Two atoms called double atom. and three double atoms is one hexa atom. Three hexa atoms, one Dhruti. Dhruti. This is equivalent to now 8 atomic particles, 18 atomic particles.
But how do you calculate time from that?
Yeah,
Doesn't the
come-
Bhagavatam say
coming
something
there.
about
Coming there. So now, smallest of small, we're building it right now. So from atom, then 2 atoms, then double atoms as a 3 into 2, 6, and then 3 of them is 1 Dhrutis is 18, and then 100 Dhrutis is 1 Veda, 3 Veda is 1 Lava, 3 Lava is 1 Nimisha. Now we come to minute. 3 Lavas is 1 Nimisha, and 3 Nimisha is 1 Kshana. We say Kshana. In Telugu we say Kshana Kshana. 1 Kshana is actually 3 Lavas, and then 5 Kshanas is 1 Kasta, and 15 Kastas is 1 Lagu. Then now 15 Lagu is 13 minutes, half an hour. Now 2 of that is also called 1 Danda. 2 Dandas is 1 hour. And then 16 or 7 Dandas is called 1/4 of the day or night. That's 8 hours. Now 4 Praharas or Yamas in one day we have 6, 6, 6, 6, 6. 2 fortnights is 1 month. 1 fortnight is 15 days. 2 months is 1 season. There's a 6 months. Together 6 seasons actually. It's called 12 months, 1 year. That's how the time calculates. Starting with 1 particle, and eventually all these technical things. So olden days, that's how they calculate.
But isn't there something in the Bhagavatam about how long it takes to, if you pour water in something, how long it takes for the water to be filled? That's how it's 1 nimisha.
That is another way of physically
Yes.
measuring it.
Yeah.
That's physically measuring. So different people, they measure it differently. Like this is other way of measuring it time. Like you put a time and see thing activity you do. So now it's starting and you're going to finish this one. It's another way of measuring. Other way of measuring is that time. The clicker. There's so many ways you can count. That's one of the way. That some people they don't have this facility. They look at the sun, midnight. Somebody they look at the seasons. The farmers they look at the season. They calculate. Okay, now is the time for harvest. So neither 1 month, 12 months, 6 months, 1 year. So it says movements of sun 6 months this way, Uttarayana 6 months this way, Dakshinayana. And like that, now come to Kali Yuga. How many years of Kali Yuga? 432,000 years. 2 times of Kali Yuga is Dwapara Yuga. 3 times of Kali Yuga is Treta Yuga. 4 times of Kali Yuga is Satya Yuga. One of that is 1 Yuga cycle. Like that, 71 Yuga cycles is 1 Manu. There are 14 Manus. That means 1000 Kali Yugas, 1000 Dwapara Yugas, 1000 Treta Yugas, 1000 Kuta Yugas or Satya Yugas together 1 Yuga cycle. Mahayuga, Divya Yuga. So that's offered to Brahma.
That's half.
So now I have another document here.
We did something for the Sunday school, right, Mataji? We made them calculate how many years of demigod is.
Yeah.
1 year of demigod is this many years for
Yeah, I have that
humans,
also, yeah.
And we made them calculate.
Yeah.
Same thing, yeah. So 12 years is 1 Misha of demigods. So 12 years of demigods is 1 minute to Brahma. There's calculation. Yeah. So 1 hour, 1 year of our time is 1 minute for Brahma. Like that, there's so many things. How do you make this big?
It's also in the first canto, Parikshit tells Sukadeva Goswami, I have only 1 week left to live. How am I going to know all this? And Sukadeva Goswami talks about some other king who had only 1 muhurta, 48 minutes.
Mustyakunda?
Not Muchukunda.
Kaliva, no.
Kaliyavana. Kali-
It was like he killed all.
Katwanga. Maharaj Katwanga.
Maharaj Katwanga.
Kaliyavan is
And
different.
he said Katwanga got calculation or went back to Krishna in 48 minutes. You have 1 week. That's what he says. You have so much time. Yeah.
So let's, in that perspective, so let's think about Brahma's lifetime. Now we know how to calculate how the time calculated, how the time is perceived. We understand the definitions, and we understand the potencies, we understand the stages and aspects and ways. Now let's calculate Brahma's life. So in this calculation, right now, a day of Brahma is called Kalpa, as we all said. So 14 Manus, 71 Mantras together. So what is the age of Brahma right now? It's 51 years. It's so precise, I'll tell you. His current,
He's only 1 year older to you, bro.
no, he's equal to 51.
Oh, you could, oh, both are friends.
We born at the same time, with a different dimension. So its current Kalpa is called Svetavaraha Kalpa. Okay? And then it's also current Manvantara is Vaivasvata Manu. Current Manu is Vaivasvata. Current Kalpa is called Svetavaraha. So earlier to this Manvantara is 6 Manus, ruled by 6 Manus, and then if you, based on the Kali Yuga 430,000 years, based on Dwapara Yuga 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, it's called 306 billion years, 720 years. Multiplied by 6 Manus, that becomes 1,840 billion, 320 years have passed in the 6 Manvantras. So we have so far 27 Mahayugas passed, and we are in the 7th Vaivasvata Manvantara, which is 27 into 4 million 320 years is 116 billion 640 million years. So if you add all those things to make it 1,960 years, 853, 111 years. That is the age of Brahma right now. 51st birthday.
But this is how which Brahma this is. This is the
Our Brahma.
Chaturmukha Brahma. Yeah, Chaturmukha, but there are more Brahmas before.
Yeah, there's
this.
so many.
So even this is like head. And doesn't Brahma have to create the whole world all over from the beginning every day?
Like when the night comes,
Sorry.
but duration of Brahma entire lifetime is called 3 trillion years. Yeah, 311 trillion years.
Isn't Brahma lives for 100 years?
Yeah, in that calculation.
In
Everybody lives.
his calculation, 100 years.
Yeah, for him 100 years is here is like trillion years.
Yes, that's our calculation is called 311 trillion years.
400 billion.
Yeah, 40 billion years.
So that means this is how many Brahmas have already passed, so many trillions of years have passed. Right now. That's what it is.
Yeah. Yeah, 311 40 billion years, not 400.
Yeah.
40. That's how we calculate. That's how. See, 8 billion 640 million into 30 days of Brahma, 12 months of years, 100 years is 311 trillion years and 40 billion years is the lifespan of Brahma.
We will just live for 50 years.
Amazing.
But that's just one breath of Mahavishnu.
That's one breath of Brahma.
One breath of Mahavishnu.
Breath of Mahavishnu is there.
Correct. So, scientists calculated current.
When we do yoga, one inhale, one exhale. Everything is gone.
Scientists calculated the life of a universe is exactly the same.
Then how many births?
They also calculated 155 billion years. It's exactly the life of a Brahma.
Oh.
51 years.
Okay. Yeah. So
They came pretty close. Ours is 154 billion. Sorry, 154 trillion. 586 billion 880 million years. scientists came to 155 kilograms.
I will still be there on this planet. No, you'll all go back. I'll still be here.
You want to?
I don't want to.
Yes,
But
that is
my
the case.
false ego is so big, I'll still be here.
It's amazing, right? How? So now there are many dimensions, but everything is moving, and then it's a cyclic. How do you come out of this? The same time. Sorry.
No, the scientists calculated this particular universe, but there are many universes.
Yeah. And then now, at the time of, so now it will take me to the next story. So now we heard about it. So far you with me?
Narada really didn't get married, right? That's just a dream, right?
It's just a dream.
That's a dream.
It's like an allegorical story.
Okay, okay. Like Puranjana story.
Puranjana story. It's an allegorical.
But experience is same. In the dream, what happened? There was a real.
That's right. Even like we all had that experience, right? Something.
Right now we're sitting here is also kind of a dream. In one dimension, not to confuse. In one dimension and one perspective. Now I won't say dimension. In one perspective, this is also. So like the Krishna, we are right now with Krishna, like Narada, and the dreaming. And one day when we got out of it, when we cried Krishna, like Narada, Naveen, Krishna, wake up, what happened? Oh, where am I? You're playing. See, Gopal's here, Gopi's here, you're playing.
Where is TC?
And I said, oh, what happened to that? Do you have a bad dream? Yeah, in the bad dream I was walking in a chair and I was walking. I had this, I had that. Oh, okay. But that experience will remain. That experience will remain. Next time when I try to fit my finger in the fire, then it's I don't know.
No.
We will not come back. But there are some people who wants to come back. Prabhupada, Jesus Christ, Shankaracharya, Madhvacharya, Ramanujacharya, they come to elevate the people consciousness, take them. That happens.
But as per the will of Krishna, it's not like they want to come themselves.
Yeah, but if they have a desire also they can come. There's sometimes. But same time, even the person goes through all these things, even that person has a choice now. In spite of that person can come back again. But in general it says only fall down one time.
Like
But-
Hanuman decides to stay on earth, right?
Yeah, but
He just decides.
so next Brahma.
Why?
Just chant Rama's names and.
You can do it in the spiritual.
No, there is a reason. Because he has a next post is waiting for him to become a Brahma. Current Brahma 51 years, after 49 years, so the Hanuman will fill that post.
Prabhuji, all these like agents who are coming from the God, they will go back again,
Because
or they will be stuck in this material. No?
no, those who are the Paramahamsa, it's called Nitya Siddhas, they never.
They're also,
Pardon?
they're always liberated.
They are always liberated. So even though they come here purpose, their consciousness is there. Prabhupada said there is never a moment I forget Krishna. Momentarily it appears. Pandavas, Yashoda, Nandamara, they are all associates of Krishna. They come here due to the purpose and they take part in Krishna's pastimes, and then eventually when Krishna leaves, or before or after with him, they go back. And the next set of place with Krishna, there's different kind of souls join him, and there's other kind of a soul where they process bhakti and they get clear from karma. They want to go back. On the way back, they hop in one of the Krishna's pastime to experience. Many things happens, many dimensions, many places. So there's 6 kind of pralaya happens, like where the life of a soul. Every transmigration, one soul to another. That's one kind of pralaya. Second is like when day of Brahma ends, night, and the end of Brahma's life, and then soul changing life, and eventually going back to spiritual world. There's a 6 pralayas happens, and in between there's sometimes during Manu time, one Manu to other Manu transition, other pralaya happens. For example, you know the story. Matsya comes, that king very cold. Small fish become big fish and big fish, and you know the story, right? So the king goes, they pray in the morning, praying oblations, and then eventually he saw there's a little fish in this handful of water. He's about to throw, the fish speaks. Oh king, why are you throwing me? I took shelter of you. Don't throw me out. He's surprised to see Satyavrata Maharaj. Then he's surprised to see fish is talking. He says, "Oh, okay, what do you want me to do? So I want take care of me." Then he took that to his palace. He put it in a glass chamber. Then it grew. Then eventually he put in a big one. Then it grew. Then eventually he surprised, what is this fish that grows? Then he put him in a pond. Became big enough in a pond. Then he called all of his associates and told them to put in the river. It became a riverside. He didn't know what to do. Then eventually, somehow he transported to nearby ocean. And he put in the ocean, it became a big fish. And then he said, "Who are you? It cannot happen just like this. Who are you?" Then I am actually a fish. The time has come. One is ending. Manmantra is ending. The devastation is coming. You are a righteous king in the form of Manmantras. Manu. And then and in 7 days, the devastation is coming. So collect all the people, herbs, species, and then seeds and all those things. Come here. This big boat will come. So get into that. So with his faith, he went back, collected, told everybody, and then did everything board in the boat. And then now the devastation started soon after. Big rain came, and eventually started, and then Vasuki came in the form of a serpent and tied that boat to that the fish's thorn. And the fish traveled in devastation, and all these people are saved. That's where the Matsya Avatara, that's what's Matsya Avatara, Matsya Purana came, as recorded, Satyavrata.
But all the people saved from where? They went to another place?
Yes, they didn't know this.
They didn't go to the devastation. They
They
stayed.
saved the devastation. They faced, when everything settled down, they continued. So that,
their life didn't end.
yeah, very right. So that takes me to the next story. Yeah.
I have one question. It's a tangential question. It doesn't have anything to do with time. When we read Mukunda Mala Stotra or Bhaktivinoda Thakur poems, there is so much emphasis on devotee not thinking about liberation. They pray birth after birth, I just want to offer service, remember you. And if I am immersed in bhakti, mukti will, liberation is just byproduct, but liberation is not the goal. That is what we hear. But we also hear many times in ISKCON, this one life we should go back, right? Who knows what baggage and karma we have with each other. So what is the right way of thinking about it? Should we say, my focus is on bhakti. If liberation, whether it happens or not, it's not up to me anyway. But doesn't that also get you into mode of passion? Then that becomes a goal.
Which phase you are in, which stage you are in, what is the state of consciousness? The person who's starting bhakti, the person that I want to get out of here. That's also true. Krishna says, Prabhupada says, why you want to be here? Go back to spiritual world. The same Prabhupada said, depends on the maturity of the person. I want to come back again and again. Prahlad Maharaj, different stages. You all go back, I stay back, I'll suffer on behalf of you. So where you are at. So I should be honest to myself where I am. So that's the reason I ask you, what do you like? What do you want? So that's what you want. But same thing, we don't expect that from others. That is only between me and Krishna. So yeah, if you want to go back, wonderful. Krishna wanted, he's waiting. Why you want Krishna to wait? You know what Krishna is wait there, right?
Even that is Krishna's decision. Whether I stay here or not, that is also Krishna's decision.
This is your decision. So your decision, he will not interfere, but whatever the decision, he will blend in. Whichever platform you are, he will blend in. Whichever stage you are, he reciprocates. Whatever you want.
The reason I asked that, Prabhu, because Kurukshetra Alvar, he gave his life, he gave his wealth, he gave everything. And even he thinks he is not eligible for liberation. That's why I thought, if he himself is thinking that,
What is our audacity?
What's the audacity to think that?
So that's one dimension. And then what is Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that? I am worse than the worm in the stool. So what about me? He says, I am worse than the worm in the stool. So same. The mood is same.
And someone else, Bimbamangala Thakur or Bhaktivinoda, someone says, Mukti is the maid servant, she can wait, right? And not forcing
Standing in the
her.
doorsteps waiting. Same.
Yeah.
So there is a different way of expressing their desire, and Krishna reciprocates. So everybody is right, and they don't.
Whatever Swabhava,
Inspires.
Dharma, Swarupa, wherever you
So
are.
isn't that amazing? It's many to many relationships. So we have to see where we are, what we want honestly. And there are other people says, I don't know what is good for me. You tell me.
So then why are we saying this is the only way, this is the best way to go, right? So when all the dimensions are right from that perspective.
Whoever said that, that is not the best way to say it.
No, but in ISKCON we say that, right? Like
Not in ISKCON some people. Prabhupada said when somebody asked, where did you bring the new religion? There is no religion here. I did not bring anything new. If you are a Christian, perfect, follow. Be a perfect Christian. You also heard that. If you are a Muslim, follow. But if you cannot follow me, that is also true. But it depends on Prabhu. So now, there are, at the end of the day, all truth should reconcile with absolute truth. In a purpose, in principle, the preferences are different. The one who knows how to track, how to tap that person is mature. Radha Swami Maharaj once said there's wonderful devotees in ISKCON, but very few mature devotees. But they are all admitted in the hospital under Guru, that direction, the doctor's direction, taking the medicine. But depends on laulyam, depends on your practice in sadhana, who will be out.
One time Chaitanya Chan Prabhu was giving a lecture and a priest came. He's a pastor in an evangelical Christian church. And he smokes. And he said, you're saying that the holy name is transformative and all that. And Chaitanya Chan Prabhu said, why don't you try for yourself? This bhakti is at the end of the day experiential. It is not the only way and all that. Why don't you try for yourself? And he said, oh, I've tried this medication, that patch, nothing has worked. And he went for a month and he came back and said, I really gave up. Gave up smoking. And then he thought, what if someone else finds out I'm chanting? And so he stopped chanting. And then he went back to smoking. And then trying to reconcile the absolute truth that, and Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita says that he shows himself to different people. But he got conviction, he started chanting again, gave up smoking. And he was thinking whether he should stay in the church or not. And then after he talked to Chaitanya Chan Prabhu, he decided that if he gave up the church and left, the whole congregation will say after he went into this Hare Krishna, he just gave up, abandoned us and left. So he's decided to stay in the congregation and still preach whatever the group can handle, like vegetarianism, non-violence, because he thought that it was important for him to stay in the faith, chant, but stay in the faith, improve his purity, and hopefully that message will be well received.
Isn't it? That's what we discussed before week. So wherever you are, whatever the background. In Krishna says in 3rd chapter, 4th chapter. Remember all those verses. It says like we have no right to disturb anybody's faith. So everybody has the rank out. Nobody's competition. But however, if you're struggling that, they can try another option. What is works. So in that perspective, there are many ways.
You told with the demigods, like people who worship demigods, you should not say anything that you should not do.
Because they are better than
worship.
atheists.
Yeah.
So same thing, if one person is as if Krishna says, so it's only way, in one sense, what is the mood of the person? So if that person, I don't know the context, in general, this is only the way, this only way works faster. That much we can say. This is only the way, no. Krishna manifests in many ways, to many people, many different faces.
So, is it okay to get rid of, like, thinking like with rage decision that I should get out of this world, material world? Is that the way, if you get into like Krishna conscious, is that the right way?
This is not the
Right
right
thinking?
that is not the right thinking. That's the easy way of getting out of it, but there is no easy way. So because why? So if I hate Congress, then I'm voting BJP, for example. So that means I'm not out of love for, but I'm hating somebody. So that's incomplete. But eventually, after voting them, if you want to learn more, and even demigods, you talk about Republican, Democrat, whatever. I'm just giving an example. So you know more them. Oh, now I know what their philosophy is. I want to understand what they wanted to say. I can relate. So understanding and working with them, that mind frame is much better than rejecting or or aversion. So that doesn't take you for long, because what happened, we develop the same thing there also. Then eventually we start hating them. So we're hopping from one to another. So but whatever you do, go deeper, understand, and eventually use that as a base, and then next learn the next letter. So that's called staircase approach. Other options, okay, there's too many options and too many choices, I'm confused. Let me take direct path of bhakti. So let me practice that. That's another way of learning.
Even in like Chaitanya Charitamrita, I forget where, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu like questions like Murari Gupta's like a Ram Bhakta,
Yeah.
and he says like, hey, like you should like worship Krishna, and like that night Murari Gupta's like so conflicted. He's like, oh sure, like do you worshiping Ram, do you worshiping Krishna? So the next day he comes to Mahaprabhu, and Mahaprabhu says, that was a test of your faith in Ram. That you should just continue worshiping Ram if that's the level of devotion you have towards like Ram.
He did not disturb. Right?
Yeah. He even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, you are I think you see the incarnation of Hanuman. Yeah, he's like, you are an incarnation of Hanuman.
That is natural for him.
That's natural for you. You worship Ram with very firm devotion.
Even Sanatan Goswami's another brother, he was more inclined to Ram, right? Ram Bhaktan.
Yeah, it's the third one.
Third.
Which is Anupam. And the same thing here when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to see Lord Sriram, Ranganatha. So he met this Bhatta family, Venkata Bhatta family. So, and then that they are attached to Sri Vaishnava worshipping Lakshmi. So then he had a debate. If you see that, there's a debate between
Radha versus-
and then where Radha went to Krishna. Eventually, when he saw that, then he started, instigated that this is better. But when he saw the person is stuck there, then okay, be there. There's nothing wrong with it. He continued.
The Gopal Bhatta was-
And then from there, the Gopal Bhatta came. He came as a worshipper of Radharani. Of course, we know the story. So, is that perspective? That is also right. Is also right. But eventually, both will reconcile in absolute truth. So one has to have that maturity, and then yeah. So now I'll take you to the next story, which is the final story. One day, on one particular time, on the banks of Saraswati River, Badrikashram, Markandeya Rishi, the great saint, sitting there and meditating. So you know the story? You know, give me the story, we'll talk about it. So, Naranayana Rishi came. Naranayana Rishi came, and then yeah. So he was so impressed, and then he gave benediction. Whatever you want, ask me. Then he offered prayers, wonderful, nice prayers, glorified Lord in the form of Naranayana Rishi. So when that is done, he said, I have a desire. What do you want? He said, I want to understand your Maya potency. Yeah.
Prabhuji, can you come again?
So there is a saint, Markandeya Rishi, sitting in his hermitage, meditating, and by looking at his purity and intention and desire, Krishna came in the form of a Naranayana Rishi, and he gave him his audience. And then they had a wonderful exchange, discussion, and then eventually when the time to leave, Narayana Rishi asked him, is there anything I can do for you? You want anything? He said, I have a desire. So I want to understand your Maya potency. Are you sure? Yes, I want to understand. So be it. And he went, and the Rishi's life continued. And like every day, got up in the morning, eating Mangalarati and all those things, and they're sitting and chanting so intensely. Suddenly started raining. Wind started blowing. Clouds started becoming dark. And then now it started falling like a pillars. Like at the time of annihilation, destruction, pralaya, that's the samvartaka clouds started coming. Slowly, ocean started raining. Rain started becoming so heavy, intense, it became dark and cold, and all ocean started filling. And all the things is devastated. Everything is filled with water, and you don't see any life. palaces, trees, you name it, everything is ripped off and then floating in the ocean. And the big monsters, the only monster you can see is the Timingalas, big monsters. That is the only thing. Small fish also being killed. And he's trying to devour him. He's trying to run away. There is no place to stand. Everything is gone. He's fatigued, he's tired. No sleep. He's also running for life. He doesn't know the day and night, month. Months pass, years pass, and centuries pass. It's a long time. You don't even know. He's morose. He's frustrated. He did everything whatever he could do, trying to somehow barely escape the life. But somehow, time passed. Finally, many centuries passed, and finally he saw a little light. Oh, it is a little light. He started swimming. Finally, he came close, and he saw a little light coming from an island. That means there is a land there. He went close, and then he saw there's one tree there. He went a little close, and the tree, one of the leaf, there's a little something is light coming, and he went and saw Krishna. And it's like a form of a baby. Nice, beautiful lotus eyes, nice nose, lips. That is like a fruit. Nice curly hair, and his smiley face. He's wearing the earrings, bluish, blackish. He has a flute in his hand, but at this particular time he has his foot. His mouth sucking. He's so enchanted. He says, "This is very close." And he said, "Krishna, you are here." When close, then Krishna opened his mouth. He inhaled. So he was sucking. Swallowed inside. When he went inside, he saw everything is light. And then he started seeing the Brahma creating. In other words, he saw the devastation. It is light of Brahma. How many years? It is calculated. After death of Brahma, we calculated. So, 1000 Yuga cycles multiplied by 71, multiplied by 14, which is half of day of Brahma. That much time, this Muni was going to the devastation. And now, Brahma got up, he started seeing how Brahma created. 24 elements, Pradhana, it's unmanifested. The manifest is called Mahatattva. Time, Krishna glancing at manifestation, how he creates demigods, how he creates the trees, how he creates the demigods in charge and process creation of that. Kali Yugas, Treta Yugas, Dwapara Yugas, Manvanta Yugas. He saw all Krishna's pastimes, all during the time. And then wars, pestilence, again, earthquakes, so many yugas, different planetary system. Entire creation of Brahma is right. So bewildered, it's everywhere. He's seeing, transformation of planetary systems, species. So when that happened, and then again, floods started coming. Again, floods started coming, became a dog, and then Krishna exhaled. He came back into the darkest region again. So he saw this, and then he saw the Krishna again. He went close, and Krishna looked at him face to face, smiled, and everything disappeared. It's he opened his eyes. He saw there, sitting there, chanting. Same Badrikashram, same banks of river. He was sitting and chanting. Just imagine a tree left a leaf. It's flying, falling, and it's still falling. You look at it initially, close the eyes, blinked it and look at. From there it came to here. It's not even fall. In the meantime, one day of Brahma passed. Half a day of Brahma, night time, half a day of Brahma, morning. Creation, destruction. Everything happened. Billions and trillions of years passed. And experience like Narada, a fraction of a second manifested in this entire fashion for the people. in fraction of a second. When you remember, this is how the Maya works. This is how Krishna creation creates the Krishna. I'm so insignificant, I asked you wrong, but still, right, I understand how this Maya potency. It's there at the same time I don't see it. I got it at the same time too far away. I understood, but still I don't understand. So he saw entire half a day of Brahma, the destruction. He also entire half a day of Brahma creation. And then this all happened, he just right back there, and still sitting and chanting. He just opened eyes, blink, a fraction of a second, billions of years passed. Exactly from Narada. This is in 12th canto Srimad Bhagavatam 9th chapter. You can read Markandeya Rishi passage. So how? Same thing when Krishna dances with gopis. They are left, he played a flute, got there mid of the night, and then till morning, 4 o'clock, 3-4 hours, they danced, but billions of years passed for them. When they came in the morning, it's 3 hours for normal time. And Narada want to test again Krishna in Dwaraka, 18,000, 16,000 queens. How can he manage? One person cannot manage wife and husband, or one person, male or female, who they cannot manage. How is he managed? He came there, one day he's playing with his grandson, other day he's playing with wife, sometimes spending time. One person, Krishna expand into many places. And many places, many different pastimes, not one repeats them. Krishna Dasarila, Krishna pastimes of Dwaraka, Narada Muni pastimes, and then pastimes of Markandeya Rishi, and you and me. And what we see, the time never stops. Time goes, perceived in different dimensions, works in different frequencies. Time controls everything, Krishna controls time. Never stop, never wait. Only in material world Krishna, only it can be seized out when you have an absorption. That option is there for all of us. 6 ways, 3 aspects, 3 stages, 3 phases. Ultimately, the other form of Krishna. Only most not to waste the time. We are not wasting time, the time is wasting us. We cannot kill the time, time is killing us. So now, if you connect all of them, manifested and manifested, in personal feature, it also can perceive in personal form. We can perceive the personal form when you have that access. And he is ready to reveal that. This is my understanding of little humble attempt to try to understand and share with you. So whatever I know, I just put it there.
The whole 17th chapter, when it says more of goodness, more of passion, more of ignorance, I think it's all how many different ways you can spend time and which mode it is. Right?
That's what our free will is, like how we have the little free will, we have like what we choose to do every time that we have.
So bottom line of why you do all those things? Unlimited happiness. Uninterested. Looking for unlimited happiness, uninterested. That is your nature. So that is your nature. Because why? That is Krishna's nature. Why? We come from Krishna, we got the same nature. There's nothing wrong in it. But you're looking in a wrong place, in the wrong place. We are eternal spiritual souls. Birthright to be happy. We never die. That's the reason we have insurance policy, because we know back of the mind we never die as a soul. The body is dying. Hair is falling off, getting dry. Things are changing. Unchanging thing, which is a soul, in ever-changing environment in the Prakriti. Incompatible. That's a type of word. That's where we understand this. We take a step back and observe with absorption. Be in this world, but not of this world. And that time, everything ceases. Back to where we are sitting, chanting like, and we see normal phenomena. Otherwise, not only going through everything. That is also true, but temporary. That's a real experience. Same. We perspire, we fight, we run, we enjoy, we laugh, we cry. Experience remains. But it's inconceivable, unfathomable. But that's a other aspect. And this is one insignificant energy of Krishna. One day we will do Krishna's all potencies in session. It will take a couple of weeks. But my humble request is the devotees like they skip one or two, so they lose it. So, but we have to move on.
He likes this conceptual thematic constellation.
So that's how I started. The first one we started from first thing. What is the first thing we learned first week? Whoever you are, wherever you are, whatever background you can, how do we tap Krishna? Bhakti is in middle of Bhagavad Gita. Karma in the first last is not. That's true. But Bhakti is always there. But how do we tap that? And Krishna said that, but we missed that between the lines. But how do we tap it?
And
To tap the Krishna consciousness, Krishna is everywhere. But how do we understand it? We can see from Krishna everywhere. But how do we see? But we cannot at least see on chanting. But at least see at least in the deity form, in the temple. We'll start somewhere. But unlimited experience, everything in cosmic manifestation showing to Krishna, I'm better than you. The flower tree is offering, see, I have something. Everybody is a competition to Krishna. It's our expression in a subtle way. I am the controller, I am the enjoyer, I am the proprietor. Everything, the cockroach, she cockroach is shown to he cockroach is shown to she cockroaches, elephant. You name it, everything to show. But when fine day we come, even the path of bhakti, I am going to show I am a better speaker, I am a better chanter, I am a better tester, I am a better cook. Even after passing that, eventually comes back Krishna. I think Krishna, please help me. Other than you, there is only hope. I have no hope. If you think me like this, you should not be surprised. That's how I was. Don't leave me, let me not leave you. You may never leave me, I know, but I may leave you. Because I left you many times. When I ditched you, I can ditch anybody. When I left you, I can leave anybody. But now, my will is not as strong. Let me fall off any time. I'm falling down. Please wait. And he said, don't worry. I know your strengths, I know your weakness. I'm with you. Walk with me, ride with me. The option is there. But still Maya is very powerful. To test that, the way he tested, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu tested, Murari Gupta. At the same time, he said, okay, that's do it. At the same time, the appreciation comes, correction comes. Choice of the choice. So that's where I wanted to end here, but I hope we got something out of it. So next I'm planning is a karma. That's my favorite one. So you know, we can stop it. So
Question answer so what?
no, today is kind of blended.
Yeah, we did
we
question
didn't let
answer
him
all the
finish,
time.
we just kept.
No, that's good.
On top of that, if you have any questions, official question answer.
No, it's good. It should be like that. So
Interact.
it's interactive.
Yeah.
That's more helpful.
I have one realization for you.
Sure.
We spend the same quantitative units of time, but like that time that I spent with the Yuvraj Maharaj or Malti Prabhu or
Some similarity.
some senior devotees or devotees that really inspire me. It's the same amount of time, maybe 10 minutes you spend, but that 10 minutes you hold dearly and it feels like it's very long. It gets fast.
Stays with you long.
Yeah, so it's many times this is what Maya is. What we think is real may not always be real. Like sometimes when we are in a situation that we don't like, we want to get out of that situation. But if we look at objectively, we may have spent less than 10 years. But our mind perceives that very differently. More favorable and unfavorable. So many times thinking about not be so certain about our feelings of it. Because they come change.
And also people can change. So situation can change. And things can change. What we think is bad can be good, and what we think is good can be bad. What is favorable can be not favorable. What is convenient may not be convenient. Because that's where we make the first topic. Whatever the situation. And that situation always have to Krishna. And Krishna knows, Krishna, this is my weakness. I have this attachment. I want to eat, I want to touch, I want to experience, I want to process. that's okay. Let me do that. I can take. If you think that's not good for me, you take it. I have no power to take it because I have no control. Because why? He controls it. Amazing relation. But eventually, at the end of the day, we should not be a shooting star. At the same time, we should not be false renunciants. At the same time, we are not here to hate material world. Because why? Material world is also Krishna's creation. We cannot hate one aspect of Krishna, love other aspect of Krishna. That's incomplete.
It's going back to your point, Mataji. So Chaitanya Chandra Prabhu says, Bhakti is not about rejection. Jnanis want to reject the material world. Materialists want to just enjoy. But Bhakti is integration. How do we use like this camera and YouTube? How do we use that in service to Krishna? If it is live streamed on YouTube and someone listens to it and it inspires them, then it's all good. So it's all about integration. And Chaitanya Chandra Prabhu also says, from your place at your pace. Going back to what Krishna was
Correct,
saying.
exactly.
It's the only way. From your place at your pace. Whatever. If someone wants to be vegetarian, okay, at least they are doing that. They may not yet understand Krishna consciousness or anything, but at least they're taking the first step of Jiva Karma.
Even if they're eating non-veg, even if they're smoking and drinking water, look something good that they can tap the Krishna. They have something which I may not have it. Tap that.
So, I think at the end of the day, it's very personal and very experiential.
And at the bottom line,
Personal relationship.
Krishna, holy name is not different from Krishna. And Krishna is everywhere. How do I tap him? The holy name. When you tap him, holy name, all the things. I said many times like that. One day I had this realization. Nam Akar Bhagwan Sarvasakti Lord can invest money in Kam. Just like I invested all of my potencies in holy name. So Kala is one potency. Prakriti is his potency. Lagina Siddhi, Prapti Siddhi, Harna Siddhi, Bhagwan Siddhi, Sambit, Sandhini, Aladini. All of them are his individual potencies. When Krishna came as Nrsimhadev, he used his potencies to certain extent. When he came Rama, he uses his potencies suddenly. Even when Krishna came, he used all his potencies at different phases in different degrees. Just imagine, he put all of them in the holy name. When he access to holy name, we have all of them. How do I understand it? That's a different topic.
And sometimes we have so many questions and we don't get answers. And Bhagavatam says we just keep chanting and Krishna will reveal from within. Sukadeva Goswami will reveal from within. And sometimes I think that is one minimum faith we should have. I don't know the answer now, it doesn't make sense now. But I'm going to keep doing my chanting and one day it will be much more clear.
So when we think we are ready, when Krishna thinks we are ready, otherwise he is ready to reveal. Because he has unlimited hands, I only have 2 hands. I have a little brain to understand. So you can, otherwise I'll begin with my father.
Kids.
Oh, kids one, yeah. Now the time for kids. Parikshit, come.
Come.
You have a little
Okay,
one
Kirti,
here.
you go first. Please.
Whatever you want to say it.
Please, Kirti.
Hi.
That's true, she's right.
Sadashiva.
No.
Kiti, you want to sing one song? Another song? Gokula Bala song?
Anything.
Or Carnatic music?
Anything.
How about Guru Puja song?
Yeah.
Yes.
You learn in Guru Puja?
Yeah.
Come on, I don't know. Right?
That
That's
is
a
nice.
nice
Yeah.
one, yeah.
You sing one verse, he will answer verse.
Oh,
It's
nice.
nice.
See?
Yeah.
You can tag team it.
You start the first verse, then you do the second.
Yeah, and then you will post it to Rohan Prabhu.
Oh no, not
Just sing.
Okay, then I'm not doing it.
Okay, nobody, we are not posting.
No, it's we're not posting anywhere. Just sing.
She's just recording in phone, no posting. Yeah. She
Yeah, then.
go. Now, Parikshit, do you want to go second verse?
No, you want to say the shloka, Mataji.
Whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
मन्ये धनाभिजनरूपतपश्रुतोजस् तेज प्रभाव बल पौरुष बुद्धि योग मन्ये धनाभिजनरूपतपश्रुतोजस् तेज प्रभाव बल पौरुष बुद्धि योग.
If you go to the right tune, you will remember. You're changing the tune.
What my song is it?
मन्ये धनाभिजनरूपतपश्रुतोजस् तेज प्रभाव बल पौरुष बुद्धि योग.
Still not right.
Is it from Brahma Samhita?
No, it's from Bhagavatam, Prahlad prayers.
Wow.
Try again. Let me see which one.
मन्ये धनाभिजनरूपतपश्रुतोजस् तेज प्रभाव बल पौरुष बुद्धि योग.
Naradhana.
नाराधनाय हि भवन्ति परस्य पुंसो वाक्यातुतोष्टभगवन्नजयूतपाय.
Explain.
Manye are considered dhana, riches, abhijana, aristocratic family. Shrut,
Manye Dhana.
vijana, rupa, personal beauty. Tapa, austerity. Shruta, knowledge of the Veda. Ojas, sensory prowess. Teja, bodily effulgence. Prabhava, influence. Paurusha,
Diligence.
Buddhi, intelligence. Yoga, mystic power. Even if Prahlad Maharaj says, even if you have all of these, na aradhanaya, you cannot satisfy the Supreme Lord. Simply by devotional service, bhaktya tutoshta bhagavan gajayutapaya, you can satisfy the Supreme Lord. Gajendra did this.
So now you. What do you want to say?
Hey, Guru Puja, complete.
Guru Puja?
You can say
Whatever line
Shri
you
Guru
know, you
Charana, okay? You're learning in class, right?
Guru Mukha Padma, that one or any line. Listen.
Shri Guru Charana.
Say something.
Loudly, yeah.
Here. ఇక్కడ చెప్పు నాన్న.
Yeah.
ఇక్కడ చెప్పు.
అటు చూసి మాతాజీ
గట్టిగా చెప్పు.
చెప్పు. శ్రీ గురు చరణ గట్టిగా మాతాజీకి వినపట్లేదు మళ్ళీ యూ టోల్డ్ ఎవ్రీథింగ్ యా జహారా ఏ బావా కృష్ణ ప్రాప్తి హోయా హోయితే
The case, I have nothing. I know nothing. So it's so fortunate. Rahul, you want to say something?
That's right, because of you.
Anything? Any other question, comments? Time? What is the time?
8:35.
Oh, 8:35.
8:36.
So like we don't know about future, right? So the decisions that we make in the present, it might differ in the future. Like meaning if I take a decision now, it might be in the over a period of time it might be bad. So how can we understand like how can we be composed in that situation that I mean even now I have a call that I can take a decision A or B, but I don't know how it's going to affect my future. But how can based on the future event that time comes, how can we be composed and be still on Krishna consciousness? I mean, if something bad happens, I saw a lot of people go down and crumble and lose their faith. I mean, I'm talking about Krishna consciousness now because I came into this, but even if they are doing like demigod worship or anything, I was a Hanuman worshipper. Like I saw a lot of my friends who were like hardcore Hanuman fans, but when something happens over the period of time, they lose faith in that, they became atheists. Yes. So I mean, it's the same thing with Krishna in here also. So how can we be composed and still think that whatever I took is the right decision or wrong? Or how can I be composed and be still in the
So yeah, good question. So my understanding is that, so I cannot change the world, I cannot change others. That's the first thing. So everybody has their own way of doing it. Things changes. As I said, good become bad, bad become good. This situation become that situation, different. Then they have free will, they can do what they want. So there's not I can. But now what I can do is only for me. So now when I practice, what are the decision I take? Because I also have my own baggage, karma. So sukriti, so good karma, bad karma. So that has influence in my decision making. Because even though I practice devotion service now, if my bad karma is there in the past, which I have to experience the pain, so I'm intended to do decision in such a way that I suffer in the future. But it depends on how much you surrender to Krishna, how much we allow Krishna to be in our life, so he can help. But willing to take us, if the option is there, then we have to think about it. We have to be honest. In other words, so what we are now based in the past, what going to be in the future based on today. Right? So decision making also has impact. But sometimes even if you do bad decision, but intention is good, even the bad supposed to happen, then Krishna interferes. So sometimes we do mistakes and then we learn from it. Oh, I shouldn't do it again. So that's also learning. That's also okay. As I said, Krishna knows in our present, past, and future. So we have choices to make, and then and it's just not like Krishna is not a God with a hard heart with a measuring stick. You did this, I'm going to punish. No, he knows it. So we have to stay on the path and continue do our best, whatever we could do, and then every day is better than yesterday. Every moment we're learning something new. Sometimes in a wrong way, sometimes in a hard way, sometimes in a nice way, sometimes in a convenient way. So we should not be too much concerned. We should be concerned about continuing. Do our best. Even if you do mistake, that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah, but how can we be?
There's no perfect situation where, like Krishna telling me do it. No, it's not going to happen. We do mistakes, we fall down, we get up, and then we move forward. That's fine. So it's this. We are not a shooting star. Like what happening in spiritual life, but it may happen to few people. But in general, I am.
Because I'm still a sadhaka, like I'm still in a very minimalistic or neophyte level. Like I just have Shraddha. I mean, I have faith in Krishna, but I don't have any stuff. I have a lot of another that needs to be clear. Right now I'm doing sadhana. But to get to the stage, it takes a lot of time. So
This stage is not a stage where we can now I see that I go there. So every stage, this is a subtle as an organic growth. So what we can do is first stage, develop the faith, associate with those people who can help us to make us faith strong. And then Bhajana Kriya, chanting, reading, hearing, association. That is my part. And the next Sadhu Sangha, that's our part. So when we do three things, Anartha Nivritti happens by Krishna. It's not me, I take them out. That is, when we do three things, Krishna do his part. He removes Anartha. When Anartha Nivritti happens, then Nistha, and then Ruchi. So now, prematurely I'm thinking that I'm chanting for 10 years, 15 years, maybe 10 million lives, whatever it may be. No, there's nothing add stick to measure this and that. It's all subtle. It's all happening dynamically. It depends on our intuition. It depends on our love, intensity of our practices, sadhana. It may happen tomorrow, it may happen many lives, we don't know. But what we can do is first three. Continue developing the faith, strengthening the faith by reading, hearing, associate devotees, and chanting Bhajana Kriya. And then fourth stage automatically happen when Krishna does it. And there are certain things which we have to work on ourselves also, like, for example, giving up meat, giving this habit, bad habit, that habit consciously. Sometimes we give up, sometimes we fall back, sometimes we try, sometimes we're not successful. Keep trying, keep trying, keep trying. By looking at our endeavor, Krishna says, okay, now he removes it. Because I may have attachments too. Secretly I may do it.
Yeah.
Krishna knows it. But I have to be honest. This is attachments I have.
Please, come on.
So eventually then comes Nishta and Ruchi and then Asakti and then Bhava and Prema. Things happens. That he does his part and he never shy of doing that. But we only can our part. And the rest leave it to Krishna and he will do. And then at any stage we always think we are in the first stage. Even the stage who are in the Bhava, they always think that I'm also still in first stage. It's not like so now I was in first, now I'm 3 and I may go there. So this is a calculative mentality. So that happens in material world. Like that's what happens. So now he's driving that car, gotta be better. She's beautiful, she has this quality. No, it's all competition. That's a material conception. As bottom line, nobody's competition to anybody. And there is no blocker. So I am the blocker for myself. So now choice is mine, he is with me. So keep trying, keep trying. Sometimes you're successful, okay, no problem. Sometimes you're unsuccessful, that's also no problem. Keep trying, keep on. Eventually things happens, then we develop that vision, see Krishna consciousness, Prema Chakshusha, Gnana Chakshusha, and Sasya Chakshusha, and then things will be better. Then also our decision making. So one time we'll do holy name topic. Holy name will be the topic one time. So what is a symptom of good japa? What is a symptom of bad japa? Symptom of bad japa is decision making skills will go down. We'll talk about that. Symptom of good japa will lead to the stage where if your decision making skills is very short. Because why? You're connected to super soul. That connection established already, that will make it very strong. Then you have a connection that he'll help you or guide you in such a way you make the right decision. And then he'll also make you in a situation where you ride with the time. There's something shooting happening there and people tell us don't go there. No, Krishna is there, I can go. I else I don't want to go there. Why unnecessary? So decision making, choice making. So what to do, when to do, how to do. So that will get better as the time passes.
It also the association, Prabhu. It's we need to learn to take guidance, but when we choose people to take guidance, we need to make sure, you are getting the mature guidance from us, the devotees. Sometimes we receive guidance and it's like, fanatical guidance and immature guidance. You need to be careful in taking that guidance and applying that in your life too. But guidance is needed because when you come to Krishna consciousness, we hear something, and when it comes to practicality in life, it is something else. How do I apply that? Oh, they said like this. How am I going to apply that in my life? So sometimes we need to have balance between that practicality of life and the philosophical aspect of Krishna consciousness. So guidance is needed. At the same time, we shouldn't be so morose if something goes wrong with the decisions. It happens. We need to understand whatever Krishna does is perfect, but that takes some time to get to that level of faith.
Yeah, that's exactly what
That's what I'm saying. So, but we need to have that faith on Krishna, that Krishna is never going to leave my hand. So whatever happens in this world, your wife can, not you means our family people can hate us, our co-workers can hate us, our near and dear ones can hate us. But we should have one faith that there is always one person who is always looking at me with a smiling face. Whatever I do, he's always there to walk with me, to hold my finger and walk. So that story I told many times in the class. This story. There is this one person. He gets into.
No, yes.
So he gets into so much, difficulties in life. So many difficulties in life. So he's very faithful to God, but he's he don't know what to do. He's like so much that he just can't take that anymore, the difficulty of life. And then he prays to Krishna. When he prays to God, he's saying, I thought you're always with me. I always see two footprints, like two sets of footprints whenever I'm in difficulty. But this time I'm in such difficulty that I cannot take it. But I could see only one set of footprints. Why did you leave me? Why did you leave me in the difficult situation when I have faith? And the God talks to him. He says, my child, you are in such difficulty you couldn't even walk. So that set of footprints is mine. I was carrying you. So God is that merciful. He's actually carrying him because he can't even walk with the difficulty of life. So he said, child, that's my footprints. I was carrying you. So Krishna never leaves us. But there is some purification that is needed to happen in our life, and that is needed for us to go one more step closer to Krishna. He will let us go through. Only thing that we need to pray at that moment to Krishna is, please hold my hand, don't leave me. Even if I walk on the thorns, I walk on the fire, whatever, please hold my finger and walk me through. And you help me and give me the strength to go through that pain. Give me the intelligence to understand why I'm going through that, and then walk me through. So that's all we need to pray to Krishna, because we are not super smart, and we are not like Nitya Siddhas where we listen to Krishna and we get the decision from Krishna. We are still on the level where we are, practicing sadhakas. So it will come, but it's a struggle. It's a lifelong struggle. But we just need to keep that faith in Krishna. No matter what, Krishna is there for us. So
one last thing. So even ourselves, when we started our programs, Monday programs, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we want to make sure we attend many programs, hear more, read more, chant more. Any programs go here and there. That's how we started. Many branches. And as started slowly, priorities changed. Doing things now, okay, selective programs, selective things. Channeling that energy, whatever the energy we have in one situation, put the focus in one, and then whatever we could do. So time will happen for you also. All of us goes to it. And then this is what I could do. So in that now, instead of everywhere putting that, that's the energy. I'm putting the dumbbell and then the lifting, start with the 5 pounds. And then now, when I'm developing more, then I'll increase weight density. So I don't want to put energy in many places. Channel it. Eventually, whatever you do those things. Initially horizontal, now vertical. So the most important in all of them, as if you say coin, two things, two sides, chanting, association. So whatever is the most important, even prescribed number of rounds, that is the high priority for you. Anything after that, you have time, you can do. So then, if we cannot do that continuously without associating those who can help you, so they goes together. So these two has many stages. So chanting and association has many ways. It's like reading will help you, hearing will help you, serving will help you. They are the ingredients. So now what we're going to read, so many talks, spiritual talk, Bhagavad Gita, so many things there. So now those things connect. Channeling that energy, time, everything into those. But not in the cost of your channel. If you're doing so many things, many programs, if you're night 11 o'clock catching up, that means something you have to work, go back to the basics. My first priority, what I promised to Krishna, is 16 rounds, 8 rounds, whatever. For that, whatever is needed, then you have to say no also. You have to learn to say no also. Because why you're trying to be too good, but you're not good in Krishna. Because why you already promised that we cannot share with her. But this is not promised. This you can do after that. You have to be mature enough, put a sentiment aside, and then be on a practical. So we all went through. You will go through. She will go through. Everybody goes through that. Now situation comes then finally going through so many local roads, finally come to freeway. Put a cruise.
Okay, why don't you tell the short film which we saw today, To Believe in the Krishna? You can.
I didn't see the whole thing.
We just watched a short film, Mataji. It is from the Madhava's rock band. I think you know them. So it was very emotional. I think, did you see? It was released last night. So it is all about believing Krishna. not losing the hope with believing Krishna. So they explained it very well that there's a little kid, she's sick, she's not well. So she's in hospital bed.
Because of the situation in COVID and everything in India.
Yeah, something. They didn't let us know that. It was just a music song, so we should understand in that. So she's sick and she's not well, and their parents are taking care of her in a Bhakti Vedanta hospital, right? Yeah, Mumbai. Yeah, I don't know. So she is getting treated there, and there is a person who is next to them. He is taking care of his dad. He is also not well. So he's also a devotee, I guess, because I don't know. So he is like very getting like aggressive sometimes with the doctors that his dad is
I
not
think
well.
that Prabhu is very attached to his father Mataji.
Yeah.
So when his father is going to the pain, he couldn't take it.
Take
and
it.
He's taking that on doctor. Yeah.
Where these couple, they were like chanting all the time. They never lost that. Their tenacity was like they never lost Krishna. They were doing all the time chanting. Even when they were with the kid, they were making her to do, and they were playing. And one day, the little kid, she wants to write something on a piece of paper. She borrows a paper from her dad, and she writes a note. But she tells her not to see. Later, she tells him to open it. So she writes, Maya, हमेशा आप जपा करना चाहिए. आप मत छोड़िए. That means
Always you chant,
You need
never
to
leave
chant all
chanting.
the way, all the time. Hare Krishna, she writes. Later, she vacates her body. At that time, they keep crying. Then the other person, he comes away, and still she reads that note. The mother reads that note, and she still chants the Krishna holy name. Then he comes and he just shouts, yells at her like, "Why are you still chanting? The Bhagwan who you are trusting, he left your kid and you are all alone now. Why still you're chanting? That's not the right way." He was saying. Then she said, like, you can say it better.
So I will say the exact words
Yeah.
that it was a Hindi short film. So he says, भगवान आपने जो कुछ आपने किस
Do you understand?
I don't know.
Right.
I-
No, we'll translate. We'll
Yeah,
translate.
Mataji.
Yeah, yeah.
So that Prabhu says, जो कुछ भी भगवान आपने प्रे करता है, आप सब कुछ छीन ले, आप still भी chanting कर रहे करके बोलता है. He says that,
Mhm.
meaning you're praying to the God all the time, and
He took everything away from you.
And the mother of the daughter, she says, he took away. What he took away? I mean, what is it there for me? I mean, the daughter is always his,
Belongs to him.
and Krishna gave me a lesson through her that he wanted me to chant all the time. So I'm blessed to have a daughter like this. Then he gets realized, and then, I mean, he leaves his japa bag in the car, and he was
He
very
left
aggressive, like once his father was sick. So then he realized.
He goes and get the bag, and he cries a lot. Then even I got tears while he was getting tears. So that's the main lesson. Like, people at one point when we get some distress, we can't lose that hope from like, Krishna is not with me. I should not think about Krishna. Though she lost her kid, that's such a big pain. Still, she never she understood that this is the lesson, because she belongs to Krishna, not my kid. So she just came as an agent to let me know that I should not lose any time to chant. I should keep on chanting all the time.
In general, it's a good rule of thumb to not go and ask for a laundry list. Give me this, that. Tell Prabhu to do this, right? And then at some point, I feel that maturity comes. Like, help me just remember you, Krishna, and not forget you. That's the only prayer. Because I don't trust myself. but I trust you.
But in the same way, in Srimad Bhagavad Gita also it says like you can ask anything that you want. I mean child asks for father everything, even if he wants a penny, he will ask our father. So it's the same thing with
We
Krishna.
can also say that.
Yeah.
Ideally, I don't want to ask you. A
Yeah.
bhakta will say, how can I serve you, Krishna? Not how can you serve
So
me.
yeah.
But I'm not that. I'm not at that level. And I'm in distress. I can't even chant. This is why I'm asking. But there is a sincerity in that prayer.
And that's also okay. Sakama, Kama, Moksha, Kama, Lord, give you Bhakti. Krishna says, you have desire, you have no desire. Even you have desire for moksha, or you have no desire for liberation. So always come to me. We can end here. So maybe kids are hungry.
Hari Bol.
We can continue while eating also. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
And today's menu.
All the children.
Sumitra Mata. And get the menu. Go for now.
Yeah.
Today's menu: yogurt rice, sambar, chutney, powders from India, ghee,
Thank you, Prabhu.
watermelon,
Katkala as well.
Oh,
sundo,
Still, we have to learn.
sweets,
now it's like, now my job is not your job.
Sweets.
Here, Mata.
sweets from India,
Till neighbors will bang you.
and the surprise is idli, sambar, chutney by Bhargavi Mataji, powders by my mother-in-law, yogurt rice, watermelon.
This is for
sundo,
sambar.
and sweets.
Very textured, right?
Massaging your feet.
Yeah.
Hari
Stand,
Bol.
stand inside, stand.
Yeah.
Mother, remove the stocking first.
That slowly, gradually start. You
End.
have to share your
End.
feet.
Mataji, this is
Massage keep
నాకే కదా